Morning, everyone. I was here since yesterday, and all the presenters are actually good-looking gentlemen. So I'm such a privilege to be the first female speaker of the forum. Compared to Disney and PCW, actually TVB are quite behind on the digital media industry. As Nicholas mentioned earlier, all the free-to-air TV stations very worry about cannibalization. So they quite worry about like putting the content in the multiplayer will affect the TV rating and actually affect the advertising revenue. So now I will spend like around 10 minutes to talk about the TVB experience, how we work with the traditional free-to-air counterpart, and then show them we are not really cannibalizing them, but actually complementing with them in building the business together. So everyone's know TVB is the dominant free-to-air broadcaster in Hong Kong, and then we actually are the biggest Chinese content provider in the whole world. So what is TVB.com do? What we are is actually we are an independent company, 100% owned by TVB Group, so we own our own P&L. But we actually have very strong assets. So we always saying that like TVB.com Group is sitting in not only the gold mine, but actually the diamond mine. Why I'm saying that? Because we actually own a lot of good things of TVB. We own all the TVB programs. That's the 42 years programs of TVB, which count around 200 hours of contents that we can use in all the devices. And second things that we have is all the TVB management artists. We manage over 800 artists in whole Asia. So we can get connected with the artists and then build the community on different devices to build a very strong social media network to connect with our audience all over the world. And the third thing that we have is the TVB brand name among the Chinese community, and also the global retail networks that we have. TVB have like retail shop in every single China market in the whole world. So that's like a very strong retail market distribution network that we can leverage on. So with all that assets, what we have been done for the last 2 years. We relaunched our website in May 2008. Two things that we focus really strongly. One is our content. So we launched our services called MyTV, which help our audience to catch up our programs online 3 hours after the program is broadcasted. To make sure that, because we launched our catch-up TV quite late, so compared to all the privacy side. So the major mission for us to launch our catch-up TV services is we have to get all the audience back from the privacy side, especially in China, back to TVB.com to watching the program from the official side. So what we have been done is we have to make sure that the quality that we have put it there is like much better than the privacy side, and the services is more stable. And then what we actually do is also adding more feature there to make sure that they have to come to us rather than go to them. So one thing that we have to develop is an interactive information button. So when you watch our travelog program, sometimes the audience wants to know what hotel and what restaurant that we are mentioning. So in this case, we are mentioning a very nice cheese restaurant. So the audience may want to know where's the address, how can they go there. So when they click the I button, they can find the address, the website, the reservation number, and everything's related to that restaurant in one click. And same case to our cooking show. You can just click the button and then you can find the recipe there instantly. So the second things that we do is we also want to make sure that people watch our program at the same time they can build the community around it. So we build our chat room forum so people watch our program and then communicate with friends in our website. And then we also want them to communicate with their friends in Facebook. So we build a Facebook Connect to make sure that they can easily connect with their friends everywhere in their favor area. So the MyTV services is not only on PC basis, it's also on mobile. In Hong Kong, we actually work with all the mobile operator to make sure that our program is also on the mobile headset. The relationship with them is very positive, and then they're also charging the user on a monthly subscription basis. So on top of the MyTV services, we also, like as mentioned earlier, we focus on building the artist community. So with the 800 artists that we have, we all build official artist blog in our website. So for them to communicate with their friends all over the world. So they will update the information there, share what they have, and then they can say, see the event calendar. And also, if they like the celebrities, they can just go to their page and then find out all the related videos that they shared in TVB history. So it's easily referenced. So they also can chat with their friends and then communicate with them. And one thing that we do it to make sure that our artists will update their content diligently is like we put top 10 daily ranking of our celebrities in the website, and then we open it properly to make sure that they want to compete with each other, to make sure that they will be on the top 10 all the time. So they actually quite diligent on updating like 4 to 5 articles every single day to make sure that they can be the #1, so we can publish them. With the two things that we have been done, like the MyTV and others, so where are we now? So what's the result so far? So within 2 years' time, we actually becomes the #1 entertainment portal in Hong Kong. So based on the hit-wise ranking, so we're just like behind Facebook, Google, Microsoft, and Yahoo. So in the last 2 years, our unique user actually grew 10 times. So, but we actually starting from a very small base, and now we are reaching around 5 million unique user per month in Hong Kong. So which is around 90% of the total internet population of Hong Kong. The second thing is, as I mentioned earlier, we are very sensitive to show our free-to-air counterpart that we are not cannibalizing with them, but in fact we are complementing with them. So we do a very careful analysis on who are the audience who's still watching free-to-air program. So we found out that like the median age of people who watching terrestrial TV is at 41.5. So what we want to do is like we want to target the group of audience they are below 40. So those are the group of audience they always not sitting in the living room to watch the program with their parents, but then they actually in the living room, in their bedroom using the PC to watch it. So what we do is we do very heavy promotion to the younger group, like the teenager and the working adults, to make sure that they know the MyTV services. So after a few months, we do the demographic comparison every single month, and for month over month, the pattern is like very consistent. So you see the blue line is actually the free-to-air age distribution. 64% of our audience are about 35. And for the red line is actually the TVB.com line. You will see 71% of our audience are below 35. So we actually, on the audience basis, on the segmentation, we actually complementing each other by expanding our viewership rather than we stealing the viewership from free-to-air to our online mobile platform. And the other things that I really want to show it to you is the viewing habit during a whole 24 hour state patterns. So looking at the green line on the free-to-air pattern, so TVB peak hour starting from 7 p.m. after work, and then the peak is at 9 p.m. every single night. That's for the weekdays. And it will go down a little bit after 9. But when you're looking at the red line, which is the TVB.com line, so our peak, we have 2 peak hour. One is starting from the lunch hour, which is at 1 p.m. So that's a normal habits now, people having their lunch box in the office and watching MyTV at the same time. So when you look into the peak in the middle, that's 1 p.m. But the scary thing for the bosses is like at 2 p.m. it's actually dropped a little bit. It only dropped 10%. So during the whole office hour, so it keep very stable till 6 p.m. That's what they finish work, and then you see a little bit dip there. And when they go back home, starting from 10 p.m., they come back again. So the other peak is at 11 p.m. at night. So when you're looking at this pattern, you will see we are actually attracting the working adult groups. They're actually watching the program when they are working in the office. So in that pattern, we also see that we're actually complementing with each other by we are not stealing the peak hour from TVB, but actually we're expanding the peak hour of our programs. Many people say, many people told us that like for the last few years, they haven't get a chance to watch TVB programs because they work so late. They finish work at 10, so they already forget about our programs. But now with the catch-up TV services, they can actually come back to us and watch our programs during office hour. So that's actually quite good for us, but I don't know whether it's good for the boss. So I also heard that some agency people, their tvb.com access is being blocked in the office. So I hope that's not true. The other thing, so when looking into the audience, we're pretty confident to show to the free-to-air counterpart that we're actually complementing with each other rather than competing. And at the same time, our revenue is going on very heavily growth. And because we're working very closely with our free-to-air advertising team to make sure that we can provide integrated marketing solutions to our advertisers by packaging free-to-air TV commercial together with the online in-stream TV commercial together with some kind of creative ideas. So we are working very closely together other than go out in two separate teams to compete with each others. So what's the next step for us with the multi-screen? We are quite behind than PCW by having the Q plate, but then we also want to make sure that our contents can be watched anytime, anywhere by any devices. So with all the cross-media synchronization that they don't need to worry about what devices they are carrying. So that's the convenience that we want to provide it to our users. At the same time, we also want to keep closely monitoring on their viewing behavior, how they watch it, what devices they are watching, how long they are spending on each devices. We want to have like more details on how they watch it in order to enhance our services to them. The second thing is the multiplay will also help us on the global expansion. So even though I mentioned like TVB have a very good global retail outlet, but then for us to expand to our footprint to global, we have to work with local cable partner before. So that's so many limitations there. But with the digital media, we can actually reach the audience all over the world through internet or actually through the local telco partner. So it gives us more opportunity to expand our footprint to the world. And the other thing is like it also helps us to grow our community globally. So looking into the cases of Twitter, Facebook, so they expand the user base very quickly. So the other cases that we're looking at is the Sina mini blog. So they just launched it last year. In 6 months' time, they actually grow from 0 users to 50 million users in 6 months, only because the users can easily use their mobile to upload their mini blog to the website and share with the people. So the last thing is, like Nicholas mentioned earlier, so we focus on building the product first, and then the last thing is talk about the business model. So what we want to do with all the multiplay, building the conveniences, building the community, what we want to do is like to build another stream of revenue, which is a user pay model. So we keep mentioning users are not willing to pay for content online, so they just like enjoy free contents. But in fact, we actually did research to Hong Kong and China audience last few months. We got 4,000 complete survey, and in the survey, actually more than 40% of the users telling us they're willing to pay for online content if that's a value there. So so before they don't like to pay only because the pricing system is so complicated, or is too expensive that they're not willing to pay for that. But actually, in fact, they're willing to pay for content. The other thing is like they're also willing to pay for others' merchandise. So they're looking into the AVAX model in Japan. They generate tons of millions of dollars of merchandise revenue. So with our artists there, they are quite popular in the whole region. So we can also sell artist designed merchandise on our community and through all the devices, and also online game, social game, all that kind of stuff. So we are as a content provider, but we also want to get into the second stream of revenue by generating the user paid model for different products or sub-products that is created through our programs. So since time is tight, so that's it for my presentation for today.